Joined by Mr. Nitin Gandhi, he is Senior Manager RICS at Amity University, Noida. My question is to you: how are you, dealing with students and parents' anxiety at your university right now? What counseling are you giving them?
So in our case, there are a lot of faculty engagement which is happening. There are faculty mentors who have been assigned responsibilities, and the students are, continue to engage with the faculty members. So while they are studying online, there have been a lot of challenges that they might be experiencing. Something similar to sitting in front of a screen for longer hours, for which the courses have been split. There are enough breaks which have been given in between. They have been advised to take certain breaks, wash their face, and try and use a bigger screen. Maybe they can connect their devices with the TV screens so as to have the screen on a distance, and they can have that kind of leeway wherein there will not be a strain on your eyes. In case there are certain challenges that they are experiencing, they have the number of alumni coordinators, and especially I'm actually discussing certain things with them so as to check on the challenges they are experiencing and provide the solutions. It has to be a technology issue. It has to be some sort of challenges that they might be experiencing with their assignments, or in their era, when their internships being looked at, they have been advised to do some sort of research work, which will turn out to be as an internship experience for them. And similarly, all sort of guidance are being given by the faculty members and other staff.
Absolutely. Let's go over to Ms. Anjali Khanna also, who's part of our show. Ma'am, how are you keeping your students engaged during this period? How do you think the students and even the faculty is involving together in these challenging times?
So, thank you so much. This, in fact, has been one of the most exciting and learning journeys for people in Jaipur. In fact, what really went very well in our favor was the fact that we have been a very technology desiring organization. I won't say we were oriented from the day one, but yes, we have been talking about technology from the last 1 year odd. And in bits and pieces, we have been picking up use of technology here and there. Sometimes in the month of February, we decided to start trying some online classes. We opened our MOOC labs, which held in, where we started doing demo classes without realizing that we will be needing it very soon. So this particular situation of shifting ourselves from the normal classes straight to the technological mode was not a very difficult task for us. But what is very amazing is that we have been successful. We started with this after the outbreak of COVID and this schools shutting down and colleges shutting down. I think we started with our classes sometime from 10th of March through online mode, and we shared the process with each and every teacher, with each and every faculty member. The demos, the demo videos were created, sent to parents, to students, to schools and colleges. Now, the amazing part is that our student variety is very, very varied. We have a pre-primary school and we have a postgraduate college. So, video keeping in mind each and every student was created and sent to the families. They were made to see it, and then we went online full time, I think from 16th of March. So we have gone to the extent of maintaining the complete schedule in a revised way from 16th March. So we have our school prayers. We give a 40 minutes class, and after every 40 minutes class there is a 15-minute break. And in that 15-minute break, there are people like us. There are sports teachers, there are music teachers who are actually playing some lovely videos. We are completely engaged with our students throughout. Let's say from 8 in the morning to 12 noon, and then for the colleges we continue till about 3 in the afternoon. So apart from classes that we are doing, we are training them on yoga. We are training them on aerobics. There are music sessions that are going on. We have tied up for last 2 years back with an organization called Music for All, which is doing online music sessions for our pre-primary students. Our pre-primary teachers are playing games with students. Even with the college students, we are doing a lot of inventories, all sorts of behavioral tests, and then there are games that we have created which keep them engaged, which keep them happy. In fact, if you go up to our website, you will come across a lot of parents who have posted on our website how excited they are about the whole process. To keep our faculties motivated, what we did was, as I said, before we began this program, we did a lot of training sessions for them through the use of Skype and Zoom, where they were trained on how these activities will be done. They were given time to create the lesson plans, etc., and share through on our learning management system that we have. So everything was collected in the central repository. At the same time, a lot of comfort has been given to teachers, considering the fact that we are at home and we are all working on our own when it comes to household jobs also. So the teachers have been given the comfort that if for some reason they are not able to take the class on a day, there is a backup plan that has been kept in place. So if A is not able to do it, B is already there waiting, so that if she is not able to do, then I will do the class. So such support were extended. We have created a window where we are sharing a lot of motivational chats, motivational write-ups with our people. We have an advisor in our office who is an ex-IAS officer and a very good writer, Mr. Vinod Malhotra. So he has been writing a lot of blogs for our teachers, which are being shared with all of them. And so, in fact, recently he's written a book on happiness, which is a coincidence, and he's been sharing a lot of things on happiness from the book.
Ma'am, I must say your school seems to be properly prepared for this current scenario. Let's go over to Mr. Narayan. Sir, what do you think, coming together of online, offline, digital classrooms and even teachers conducting classes in Zoom? All of these things are coming together beautifully, and all the universities now seem to realize the importance of having these things in the education setup.
Is the question to me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. See, this is, as I said earlier, this is an opportunity for everyone. Altogether, both educational setup, institutions, students, parents, everybody. See, we have been ruled by the British for last 200 years. Unfortunately, as I have understood these education systems, as I have been involved with the school, I have been involved with IITs. So, if you look at this entire education system of India for last 200 years, we have been a kind of model which the Britishers have set for creating clerks, clerical works, managerial positions to manage their portfolio of companies, their administration. This was the setup created. We should remember this in the back of our mind. But now, for the first time, the knowledge I see because of this activity, this COVID, where people are getting the time to think outside the box, to think outside the education system. For the last 200 years, we have been following the same pattern. You put them in the classroom, you put them in the box of Henry Ford's model of mass industrial production. So we are producing for students for mass industrial work, not creativity. Innovation has not come out of us. Even if you take at this COVID example, let me see that the molecules which have come out of India for drugs is very, very, very minimal. Even the molecules, few molecules which have come out, it has been out licensed. So we have not produced a single drug in the last 60 years, or 70 years. It is pathetic. Because we don't have innovation, we don't have a culture in a classroom where in front of all the students, a single student can rise and ask questions to the teachers. And if the teachers don't know the answers, it is there in education, it is there in except IIT and premier educational institution in this country. This is a pathetic situation in all the schools, all the colleges.
But how do you think this will change with digital classrooms also coming up now?
Yes. See, digital is something where I am free. Now I am talking, I don't have any inhibitions. A student is free to ask. If there is no one in front of him, he can ask the question. And the same to the teacher also. The teacher also has not an ego. Now ego involvement is not there with the teacher community also. If I don't know the answer, I can refer and come back to the student immediately. The pressure of the teacher side is also relieved. The pressure from the student side is also relieved. He can access materials across the table. For example, Harvard is, the best professor of physics is teaching free of charge. His lectures are available in the website. Same thing with MIT. For an 8th standard student, 9th standard student, or an engineering graduate learning from a top class physicist in the world at free of cost, at his convenience, at his time, and repeatedly listen to the lecture. For example, it is such an excitement and joy for students to see physics happening in front of them, reality happening in front of them. So they're connected to that atmosphere. Their level goes up automatically. So they're connected to the real subject. When I am being taught by the best in the area, and whom, for example, there are lectures which even physics lectures which even Bill Gates listen to. So if student is exposed to such opportunity for the first time, or because of this COVID thing, he's been exposed to online learning, that is something which is wonderful. As I said, it democratizes education. It completely democratizes education and removes the boundaries. It removes the inhibitions. So this is an opportunity.
Absolutely, absolutely. I like the way you're putting it up again and again as an opportunity and seeing only the brighter side. Let's ask Mr. Nitin Gandhi. A lot of students are used to, studying with their peers and a traditional classroom. How are they responding to the digital learning, and what are the obstacles or hurdles they are facing while, taking classes or tests online?
Well, while there is a dramatic change in this kind of model, wherein people who were used to a collaborative learning in a classroom setup, however now they are learning from the comfort of their bedrooms. Through digital learning platform. It could be MyTeams, it could be Skype, it could be Zoom. So there are a lot of technology software which are available. However, having said that, the challenges which are there in terms of the screen time, the requirement of sitting in front of maybe some uncomfortable places,
or probably the sound systems, trying to use the headphones every time. Now, this is something which this change is getting adapted. People are coming up with this kind of change, and they're accepting it well. Now, this gives them a lot of opportunity, as Mr. Narayan already said. Now, while sitting, at the comfort of their home, they are capable of doing multiple courses at the same time, which was not really available. They are into, classroom. This also, have an impact in the long term, wherein the students can come up with multiple specialities, multiple level of experience or expertise, while using the same amount of time frame which is required for a single kind of education. In terms of the economic model, someone who is spending, let's say, 10 to 15 lakhs for a particular course of face-to-face learning in a university would end up spending, let's say, 3 to 5 lakhs for a course which is a blended opportunity which can be learned by sitting at their home, and would have an opportunity for studying from the campus for 3 to 5 days. So this is the kind of work from learning while you are earning model, wherein every student might be looking forward to it. This gives them a lot of opportunity in terms of saving costs, learning at the same time, and earning, which is not a bad idea. So this particular period wherein people are learning from home would come up with a change wherein people would get adapt to it, and you would see a transition from face-to-face model to an online learning model. And this is a good news for the education and technology industry.
Absolutely, that's an interesting point. They can learn and earn as well online. Let's go to Ms. Anjali Khanna. Ma'am, you were talking about how you've been taking care of your teachers as well who are taking online classes. How do you think the students and the parents have been responding? Are any of them, keen for counseling, or how do you take care of their emotional and mental health as well? Because this is new for children at a lot of level.
Yeah, so first I would answer part one, which is how our parents and students have been taking all these changes. Let me tell you, it's contrary to what we were thinking. They have in fact responded very, very well. Even now in our students from college, our college students come from tier 2, tier 3 cities where there are problems even in connectivity at times. But your students have really responded well. For places where we could not do live classes, we have been able to record our sessions and send them. So, in fact, we've been getting a very overwhelming response from parents of college students especially. Even school students have come back saying that they don't find any change in how the classes are being conducted and they are very happy about it. Especially the students of 10th and 12th standard who are really worried about their studies getting impacted. They are very, very happy about it. A lot of work is being given to the junior sections, which is keeping them very happy. Now, coming to how we are looking after the mental and emotional health of our staff, I was sharing that we are doing a lot of online activities for them. So we start by our day by a 15-minute prayer session, which we do with our teachers, only with our teachers across the board. And then after that, we have normal classes. And in between every class, there are 10-minute session each, 10-15 minute session each, which are taken over by our sports or music or dance teacher. We have had dance teachers have been teaching dances also online through the assist mode of Zoom technology to the students and to the teachers also. To keep our teachers happy, there are some very funny online games that we have created, which is keeping our teachers very happy. And one thing which we did was that apart from one or two sessions which happen once a week by Mr. Malhotra, as I was sharing, we are not really talking all the time about what is happening with COVID. Abhi yahan ho gaya, abhi wahan ho gaya. There is a problem. Yahan band ho gaya, yahan lockout ho gaya. So we're really not talking about it. We are letting the life stay the way it is, keeping in mind that there are some changes that we needed to bring in our systems, which we have done. And everybody seems to be very, very excited about how things are taking shape. In fact, as I was saying, we always wanted to bring technology, but without saying it in so many words, people were resisting to it. The same set of people today are welcoming technology. In fact, my own chairman, who used to really take printouts of the reports, has really adapted to technology, is himself calling for Zoom meetings and is attending all sorts of calls and conferences online, which is a very beautiful thing. So I think we are all very happy. We've had one or two cases where the anxiety issues have come up in students majorly. But we have our counselors in every school and college who are attending to these people. They are given various activities to take care of their anxiety.
Absolutely. Let's go over to Mr. Narayanan. You have been stressing on the fact that now it's time for democratization of education. Do you think parents have become a more important part in the wheel than educationists and school faculty or college faculty right now, since children are directly under their supervision in online learning at homes?
See, whether it is online or offline, whether it is COVID or no COVID, parents always have a most important role in knowledge formation for their kids. They learn from their mother, they learn from their father. This is a fact, it is a universal fact. As a student of psychology for the last 20 years, and after being, advising at least some 10,000 parents personally, I have seen that the most important thing a child learns in his life is from their parents, irrespective of the school education. Their habits, the culture, everything is formed. Home is the first school. Now, in the entire history, the last 200, 300 years, we are the first time where the 21 days, it's reset. You are resetting the access to zero. You're coming back to the home. Home as a first school. So they can learn from the very, very area where they are born, from the parents. So this is very important. And we should also understand as a society, what is the use of education? Education, for a society to flower, education should lead to learning. That is not happening. Now education is for employment. That is what the purpose is. You are educating your kid so that he can get employed. We are not educating the kid for real learning. That should happen. For a society to flower, we have education should lead to learning, and learning should lead to become knowledge, and that knowledge to become wisdom, which in turn leads to comprehensive discipline. And a disciplined life helps one to develop love for the family to begin with. It grows to the society, and then it flowers to all humans, finally culminates in all living beings on the planet. Such true love elevates the human to become truly graceful in all aspects of life and transcend the dualities. So he or she can face life without fear and for true love. That is the purpose of education. Education should become learning, learning should become wisdom, and that wisdom should lead in a person, a human being, to live a disciplined life and love for the fellow human beings.
Absolutely,
And these
absolutely.
21 days helps us to reset the access and focus on this.
Absolutely. Before we wrap up the show, let's have the last word from Mr. Nitin Gandhi. How do you think the education, the faculty at your university, the students and the parents are coming together to take care of the emotional health and, anxiety among students, because it's very important to address those concerns as well?
Well, definitely, yes. So, in such cases, apart from education, there are a lot of webinar and certain series of, sessions are being conducted. So, on various themes, such as, we are doing some alumni interaction with students so that we can give them a guiding and counseling in terms of, how does the, industry is impacted with this COVID era, and, how do they prepare themselves when they are getting, this amount of time. The faculties are conducting certain other sessions wherein they are sharing above and beyond of their education in terms of how they manage the health, how they actually can work it out for themselves for the well-being. There are other sling activities. So these are the extracurricular activities wherein the students from both the campuses that we have in Noida and Mumbai are doing some sort of the guitar playing session, the jamming sessions. They are doing extracurricular activities. In fact, the next Thursday, which is a sling week or sling day for us, they are conducting similar kind of sessions for all the students, so that the stress level can be bring down there's a lot of interaction apart from education, and there are other level of industry exposure exercises, which is in terms of webinar and sessions are being conducted from the professional body side, which is giving tons of education and extracurricular activities for the students apart from their curriculum, so that they can come
Right.
up to the learning curve.
Right. Thank you so much for all of you to coming on Masterclass today and sharing your views on how to deal with these times. And just remember, students, you're not alone. Your parents, your educational institutes, faculties, everyone is there with you. Thank you so much for watching Masterclass. News and updates continue on India Ahead.